Hi guys, welcome to another HOI4 video. In today's video I'm gonna show you another exploit, which is once again mind-boggling, reality-bending, completely broken. It can be very useful if you play your cards right. It's complex, but it works. So let me show you what I mean. Now I must note that this exploit works only for Ethiopia. Well, not really only for Ethiopia on the paper, but I don't think any other country can have all the ideas or national spirits or modifiers which Ethiopia can, just to make this exploit work. So I will play Ethiopia. And yes, I will use the commands, because, let's be honest, I'll have to defeat Italy and all that. That would be a typical Ethiopia run, but by using commands I can save my own time, and I can save also your time. So let's say that we managed to defeat Italy and we got all this land. Alright, so this exploit has to do a lot with the Decentralized Ethiopia path. You really just have to go down this develop Sheva and then infrastructure projects, and you have to finish develop the Horn of Africa focus. This unlocks decisions to improve independent or Ethiopian subjects, countries in the Horn of Africa, and possibly integrate them. And also unlocks decisions to form the Horn of Africa. We care about the first decision, so you can basically do decisions which improve the economy of your puppets or your allies in this region right here, the Horn of Africa. Now this is the most effective when you do the decentralized empire, or well, federal empire. So I'm gonna go for that. I'm just gonna use commands once again just to finish the focus. And here we are now a federal empire. As you can see, we got all these puppets. So we got Somalia, we got Eritrea, all that. One bonus fun fact, you can just return territory to Oromia and you lose the game if you want to do that, but don't do that. So here's the exploit. Now right away we can't do these decisions, but if we finish this focus down here, as I previously said, develop the Horn of Africa, we can now do these decisions. Improve infrastructure in the Eritrean Kingdom, improve infrastructure, etc, etc. I believe there's actually 4 decisions. I'm not entirely sure since I played Ethiopia for only like once and I noticed this exploit. So yeah, the first one is improving the infrastructure, adding 1 infrastructure. The second one is building a railway from your capital to the capital of this puppet. And the third one is, I believe, spawning in 2 civs. The fourth one is just giving them pretty much an ultimatum, which they almost always accept. So let's say that we had 2000 political power. Now, as you can see, we can do these decisions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, because we got 10 subjects. Each time we do that, we get construction speed minus 50% and consumer goods factories 5%. Consumer goods isn't that bad, but construction speed is. So what's 5% consumer goods? That's nothing. But let's say that we managed to go for total mob in the meantime, you know. And you know what, I'm just gonna research concentrated industries and also dispersed industries, so I can have many building slots. Now I have tons of building slots, as you can see. For example, in the state of Sheva, we got another 8 building slots. So I'm building 8 factories, let's say. As you can see, they're 1% towards being built. So what happens now, when I do one of these decisions, we get 5% consumer goods, so there's less factories actually building stuff. And we also construct 50% slower. When we do it twice, what happens is, we now construct minus 110%, so October 1963, that's how long it's gonna take. But when we do it enough times, now we did it 3 times, it says next completed, never. So construction basically stopped, but that's not the case. What actually happens is it starts building backwards. So if we do it enough times, what eventually happens is it starts building backwards very quickly. But now I got 0 factories because consumer goods, but yeah, let's just say hypothetically we had 10 civs right here, so now we got factories, you know, and we're building 1 military factory. Progress is 0%, but we got enough consumer goods, so we're actually dealing with 2 factories. And as you can see, what happens now is the progress goes backwards. Minus 159, minus 212, it goes back. Now this is very limited time period, it's only 1 month, but what you can actually do is, if you got enough factories to counter the consumer goods, if I had, let's say, good stability now and some good modifiers, I could be building this with like 4 factories or something like that. Yeah, let's randomly just get random states from Italy, and now we got enough civs to build stuff. Anyway, if you have enough civs, as you can see, we're building with 13 factories, 15 factories, and now the progress goes backwards a lot, so you lose like 100, actually 400 construction every single day, and that's a lot of construction being lost. Now you might be wondering, why the hell am I doing this? Well, let me just show you what happens when you hit the last one, when you hit minus 7,200, when you're minus 100% complete. And here we are, we finished these decisions, so I'm going to do the other decisions, which are once again going to get me minus 50% construction speed. As you can see, it's going more into the negative, and once we hit minus 100%, what happens is actually a factory gets built. So even though it was going minus 100%, it got built. Now this is not game breaking, this is cool fact, but What is actually game breaking is when you're building multiple factories or multiple of anything. Doesn't really matter, you can do dockyards, any building. I'm just gonna give myself this state right here. I'm gonna delete the entirety of its industry. I'm just doing this so I can show you what you can actually do. So we got how many building slots? 25 building slots right here. I can only build 20 naval dockyards and 20 military factories. 5 naval dockyards and 20 military factories into construction here. It's once again getting negative progress. Dockyards are going to be built sooner because it costs less to build a dockyard. Using the same analogy, what should happen once you hit minus 100%? We should get a 1 naval dockyard right here. But that's not the case. What actually happens is we get 5 naval dockyards out of nowhere, out of thin air pretty much. Yes, and the same thing is going to happen with the mills. Minus 95%, minus 100%, and now we just got 20 military factories out of nowhere. So we managed to build 20 military factories in like 2 weeks. That is if we had 15 factories for construction. If we didn't, we couldn't do that. But you don't actually have to do that for these factories. You can do it for the civs as well. It's going to take a little bit more time, but you can actually do it this way. So let's say I built 20 civs here instead. Same thing right here. Let's say I'm building 20 civs in Veneto as well. Now, I believe if infrastructure is maxed out, it's actually slightly quicker. And as you can see, we just spawned in 20 factories right here, 20 civs. And we will do the same thing right here in a moment or two. And as you can see, we went up from 95 to 114 factories. Now that's a lot of factories. You can do that. Of course, I had compliance in Italy, but let's say I hypothetically defeated them. I did the collaboration government thing. You know, you get me what I mean. This doesn't work only for factories. This works for everything else. You can build level 5 railways. You can convert factories quickly. You can build land forts, naval bases, coastal forts, all that so quickly. And land forts are especially very, very effective for this exploit. So building land forts is very effective with this exploit. You can just tell land forts into construction right away, and watch this. How long does it take to build a level 1 fort? 2 days. And in just 2 days we got 2 provinces with maxed out land forts, as you can see. So yeah, you can fortify against any invaders like this. Just spam all the land forts and they're gonna be built once the level 1 is built in the negative. Broken stuff, right? So easy, so quick, so effective. Why didn't they do this in real life? And not only land forts, you can also do the same thing for airports. Let's say I built airports in all of these states. Once the level 1 is completed in negative, that's going to take about 5 days. We get to level 10 airports. We get maxed out airports. Broken, definitely broken stuff. You can also do the same thing with radars if you can actually afford them, or the anti-air, infrastructure, everything. Everything that you can actually have multiple buildings of, you can build way quicker this way. Now, unfortunately, you can't release these countries again, which is a bit sad. You can't really do it. You can release other countries outside of this region, but you can't release the ones that are inside of this region. Now, you kind of can repeat this later on if you, let's say, puppet British Somaliland or any other country through peace conference, but you can't really puppet them through the focus. You know, you get me what I mean. So yeah, this is kind of a one-time thing. But if you use it very effectively, you can definitely get tons of factories. If not tons of them, at least like 6 factories or 7 factories. That's still pretty useful. Or let's say you can build a level 10 land fort, or I don't know, you can build big airport. Whatever is your desire, you can build it this way, way quicker than usually. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope you found this exploit useful. If you did, then like, share, and subscribe. Consider joining my Discord server if you want. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.